Good evening all. Can you all hear me? Right. I know the video I put out this morning said that the likelihood is the PAP reports will be postponed. The reason why I said that is mainly because of, and again, I shouldn't really be saying this in this particular type of video, but there we go. It's to do with the mental health issue and the tablets, right? I have taken the tablets. I feel a bit better, so I decided that I would jump on today to do this live PAP reports. Now, this isn't going to be a live like the where we talk for hours. I seem to have frozen up a little bit, or not? Have I frozen up? Can anyone tell me? 5x5. Yeah, it's had a little bit of a buffering moment there on the screen that I'm looking at. But anyway, I actually feel bad when I'm not able to do a PAP reports. I actually feel like I'm letting people down. So therefore, I've forced myself onto this one. There's not a great deal to go through, but again, this isn't going to be a live such as Sunday Night Live is, that goes on for several hours. This will be a relatively short one. So yeah, so let's get into this then and get this out of the way, and then we can have a talk about the coronavirus for a little while afterwards. So first of all, we've got a PC James Taylor from formerly from Reading Police Station, part of Thames Valley Police, who has been, you might know him, Leanna, who has been accused, shall we say, at the moment, of inappropriate behaviour towards two female junior police officers during 2017 and 2019. So that's PC James Taylor, formerly from Reading Police Station, which is part of Thames Valley Police, who is facing a misconduct hearing for inappropriate behaviour towards two, I believe, female junior police constables between 2017 and 2019, which of course breaches the standards of professional behaviour, respect and courtesy, as well as discreditable conduct, and breaches of those particular rules would amount to gross misconduct if found proven. Therefore, on the 17th of March, tomorrow, when the hearing starts and is expected to go on for about 2 days, PC James Taylor may very well be getting his P45. But that's what happens, PC James Taylor, when you behave inappropriately to work colleagues. The next thing is Superintendent Robyn Williams. Robyn Williams is was, I should say, the most senior black policewoman in the country, I believe. She had a WhatsApp message sent to her, apparently, from her sister some time ago. And although former Superintendent Robyn Williams denied looking at the video of a child being abused, she kept it on her phone and she failed to report it. Now, her argument is that she never looked at it. However, her sister's argument is that she sent ex-Superintendent Robyn Williams a video file of a child being abused in order for her to try and find out who the abuser was. Not being funny, but if somebody's, if you sent somebody a file and you had a question about that file, you're not just going to forget to ask any follow-up questions. Especially if they're in a police, you're going to send them something and you're going to go, I sent you a video. Have you looked at it yet? I want to know if you're looking into it or if you found out who it was. You're going to push that person and they're going to look at that file. So the fact that former Superintendent Robyn Williams from the Metropolitan Police denies looking at a video of a child abuse video, she denies it. I find that highly unlikely when it's in a family chat. Okay. However, she has been found guilty of gross misconduct, and therefore the most senior black policewoman in the country has been given a P45. Now, as you would expect, the Association of Black Police Officers are kicking up a bit of a stink, saying that it's institutional racism. However, I don't think it should matter what colour your skin is, especially if you're in a position that is there to protect people. If you're covering up, or if you fail to report a child abuse video, whatever colour you are, whatever gender you are, whatever religion you are, makes no difference. If you fail to report that, you are complicit in the cover up of what's going on in that video. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that she's been given the boot is good as far as I'm concerned, and that's not because she's black. It's because she's a police officer, a senior police officer, who failed to report a video of child abuse on her phone. And again, let me just reiterate, she says that she didn't look at the file, but if you sent a file to one of your friends or one of your family who was police, and you said, oh, I've found this, or somebody sent me this, you look into it, and you didn't hear anything back, you would contact them again and say, oh, did you look at that video? Have you looked at it? Have you checked it out? Have you found out yet? And you would push that person. So the fact that she's saying that she didn't look at it, as far as I'm concerned, Robyn Williams, ex-superintendent of the Met, most senior black policewoman, I think you was talking shit. There you go. Well, they wouldn't be saying this on the BBC News, would they? It says here that the assistant commissioner for the Met said that Robyn's failure to report the matter could have caused significant further harm to the child that was in the video. Absolutely. And that is one of the reasons why I think it doesn't make a difference what colour she is. She failed to report a potential child abuse, and therefore she is complicit in any further child abuse that happens to that child. That's my opinion. The assistant commissioner of the Met also said that it's entirely unacceptable for police officers responsible for enforcing the law to break the law themselves. So it's entirely unacceptable for police officers responsible for enforcing the law to break the law themselves. Like they really care about that anyway. I mean, that clearly is just for show. That statement is just a let's say the right thing kind of statement. That's not a legitimate, truthful statement, because they all know full well that the police are breaking the laws every single day in order to, supposedly uphold the law. Ridiculous. The assistant Met commissioner also said that racial bias had played no part in the decision, but the Metropolitan Black Police Association is arguing that Williams had been unfairly targeted because she's black. I mean, as I said, surprise, surprise, not. You break the law, you deal with the punishment. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what you look like, you break the law, you deal with the punishment. However, the Black Police Association, and this is quite important, I think, and it certainly made me wonder. The Black Police Association actually said in a statement, there are guidelines that allow for discretion. There are guidelines that allow for discretion. However, Williams was not afforded the privilege during this process. Why should she have a privilege of discretion just because she wore a uniform? How does that make sense? How is that fair on anybody? How is that just and right? You cannot have a discretional value just because you wear a uniform. If you break the law, you pay the price, no matter who you are. And for the Black Police Association to say that there are guidelines that allow for discretion. Now, for me, that's like saying, that's like, imagine somebody going into a misconduct hearing, the police going into a misconduct hearing. Well, I'm sorry, chairperson, You know, I tased that person 76 times until they died because I was frightened. And you know, this whole discretion thing that we've got going on, you know, come on, buddy, let me off. I didn't mean to kill him. You know, can you let me off? Oh, yeah, go on then, we'll let you off. Bit of discretion, never hurt anybody. Do you know what I mean? You cannot have discretion when it comes to cases of the law. If you're, you know, if it's a rule or a regulation, which aren't laws, laws are supposed to be there to protect us from harm, loss, or damage. If you've got a rule or a regulation or something like that, for example, then you can have a bit of discretion with regards to that. But when it comes to the law, no fucker, black, white, pink, green, purple, lesbian, gay, whatever, nobody deserves discretion. Break the law, you pay the price. End of. Gerard Boyle, who was supported, so that's the QC for Williams, who was fighting her corner. He said to the misconduct hearing that she'd spent her entire police career since the age of 18 acting on behalf of victims of crime and abuse, and that she was appalled by such abuse imagery, but yet she failed to report it. If she was that appalled by it, she failed to report it. He then went on to say that, and this is quite amusing, she was accused of one allegation, of one breach, of one paragraph of professional standards. She was accused of one allegation, of one breach, of one paragraph. So what I instantly thought when I heard that is, how many people have been prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law for breaking one rule of one, or one law in one act, in one legislation? Do you know what I mean? If you break the law, you pay the price. It doesn't matter if you only broke it a little bit. You know, you cannot say, I only broke the law a little bit, let me off. You break the law, you pay the price. You know, what more can I say about that? I think it's ridiculous that the Black Association of Police are calling it racism. I think it's appalling that her defence is trying to get her off by saying, well, she only broke the law a tiny bit. Do you know what I mean? Let her off because she's black, because she's a woman, and because she wears a uniform. No. She has lodged an appeal. So former Superintendent Robyn Williams has lodged an appeal against the conviction, but judges have not yet decided whether to grant approval for that appeal to be heard yet. That's something that will follow up if that does come up in the future. Stephen, very, very helpful subscriber, sent me a link to the following, which is, again, this isn't about police, this is about the judicial justice system, judges. Magistrates have told a speeding driver who managed to gather 60 points, 60 points on her driving license in just 2 months. 60 points in 2 months. And she's been told she can keep her license, but she must slow down. Can you believe this? This is a 30-year-old Georgia Carney from Widnes in Cheshire, just up the road from here. She was caught speeding 20 times in 2 months, 60 days. She's a self-employed beauty and nail technician, whatever the fuck that means. And she said to the court that her business would be affected if she was banned from driving, because she wouldn't be able to fulfill her working obligations without a car. Now, I'm pretty sure that most people that get done for speeding, yes, 60 points, Molly. Most people that get done for speeding or road traffic offences go to court. If you say, but I need it to get to and from work. Everybody needs a car generally to get to and from work. Obviously, there are people that don't work, but most people need a car to get to and from work. If a judge said to everybody, okay, mitigating factor, you need your car, I shan't ban you because you need to get to and from work, then the whole point of speeding regulations would be pointless. See what I did there? So they are saying for 60 points in 2 months, and she's allowed to keep her licence, okay, for speeding. The magistrates accepted her special reasons argument, said she was allowed to keep her licence despite 3 points for every of the 20 times she was stopped. However, the magistrate did give her a £2,000 fine and told her to pay 115 in court costs. Clearly punishment that is going to strike fear into all of the speeders, you know, all of the people that put us and our children at risk because they drive like fucking lunatics. You know, I thought punishment was there to deter people from doing things, but clearly I am very much mistaken. Even the magistrate said that it was a record for them. They've never known anybody to have that many points on their license stand in front of them. And yet even that was not enough for the judge to say, I don't care if it's going to affect your work, give me your license. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely ridiculous. And I would love to know how the judge quantifies that decision, but I suppose we're never going to know. Sticking with judges and how stupid they can be, a man from South Shields has avoided jail. Now this one's quite amusing, not because of what he's done, however, that is not amusing, but a man from South Shields has avoided after being caught with an indecent video of a child on one of his devices. So he was found with an indecent video of a child while he was serving a suspended sentence for possession of over 2,000 indecent photos. So the guy gets done, goes to court, gets sentenced, but gets suspended. And now he's caught breaching the rules of his suspended sentence, and yet they've given him another suspended sentence. You cannot make this shit up. 31-year-old Dylan Robson initially got 12 months, suspended for 2 years in November in 2018 after he collected over 2,600 movies and pictures of children as young as 6 months old over a 7-year period. Thank you, Ian. I just saw that in the corner of my eye. Very much appreciate that. So in 2008, he had a 12-month prison sentence handed to him, but it was suspended for 2 years for having over 2,600 movies and pictures of children as young as 6 months old. In 2019, he was caught with a video of an adult and a child. Sorry, I hate, this always gets to me, stories like this. He went to court on Thursday gone. He was in court, Newcastle Crown Court. His home was raided in on July 22nd, 2019, where police recovered 3 devices. On a Kindle device, there was a movie which involved a young child and an adult. He was arrested. He made a statement acknowledging what he had done, and he pleaded guilty in court. But despite that, the fact that he is already on a sexual harm prevention order and he's sitting on top of a suspended sentence, the court said, or rather his defense said, it represents what might be said to be a blip. A fucking blip. Paedophiles do not have blips. Paedophiles do not go, okay, I'm going to give up on that, and then have a relapse. They don't do that because they don't actually ever give up on what they were doing. They say that to get the police off of their back and get themselves a bit of space again. So to call it a blip is absolutely disgusting. And I'm horrified that a defence solicitor is calling a paedophile going back to its ways as a blip. He went on to say that it's educational. He needs to learn to stop doing it. So Dylan Robson from South Shields simply needs to learn to stop looking at child porn. What the fuck? I mean, come on. How can you say you need to learn? Do you know what I mean? Again, I go back to the fact of if you break the law, you pay the price. You know that what you're doing is wrong. You know that looking at things like that is wrong. But yet you call it a blip, a hiccup. No, you can't. It's not about learning from it. It's about being punished for it and being punished in a way that is going to make you say, well, fuck that, I'm not doing that again. The judge, Amanda Rippon, said to Dylan, you should understand that when I suspend a sentence, you get one chance as a general rule. You messed up, seriously messed up, you know? But, you know, it's okay because it was just a blip, you know. She said you seriously messed up, but they called it a blip for somebody looking at things they shouldn't be looking at to do with children, which is the most horrific thing I can think of next to murdering somebody, right? So, no, sickening. This is the stuff that you don't get to see on my edited video, because I sit here and I say stuff and then I talk to myself and call these people names, and I have to cut that out of my videos. So this is the stuff that you don't normally get to see on an edited video. So Judge Amanda Rippon said, it may be a blip and I'm not happy with that description, but you cannot afford another one. If you do, you're going to prison. Why wait? Why wait? He's already basically stuck his fingers up to the court and said, you know, I don't care about my and everything else. And he's gone and done that. Why should he have another chance? You know, okay, it may only be that he's looking at pictures, but that then leads on to more serious things. I'm sorry about the dog having a bad dream over there. But you know, you let people off once. Oh, thank you, Ian. Thank you, Leanna. Much appreciated. I missed that going up, I think. So my apologies. But you can't say to somebody, it's okay, it was a blip, we'll let you off this time. If they're sticking their fingers up to the court, if they're basically saying your punishment means nothing to me. So, you know, it's really not going to teach people a lesson. It's not going to make people think twice about doing it. So moving on. Greater Manchester Police now have apologised to a victim of crime after telling him that he should go and buy his property back off of the people who stole it from him. Let that sink in. Greater Manchester Police have apologised to a victim of crime after telling him that he should go and buy his stolen property back off of the people that stole it from him. I mean, really? What? This guy, Duncan Smith, his name is a dad of 3 kids. He had 2 bikes stolen from his shed back in February, worth around £2,000. As you'd expect, the police closed the case very quickly due to lack of leads, or rather lack of enthusiasm. You know, if they're not going to be able to pull their taser out and threaten people, why would they want to bother with the crime? Now, this guy Duncan didn't give up. He spent time searching on Gumtree and eBay to see if the bikes were listed, okay? And he found his son's bike being listed on eBay. He says he knew it was his son's bike because there were specific marks where his son had come off of his bike once, and there were marks left on the bike in specific places due to that accident that he had. So he knew it was his bike. He called the police, gave them the information. He basically said, right, I found the bike. I reported a bike. You closed the case, but I found the bike. And the police turned around and basically said, I'm sorry, we don't have the manpower to help you recover, so we're not going to take any further action, even though he could prove that it was his bike. The police said, we haven't got the manpower, so we're not going to follow this up. Anyway, the officer, I'm not calling him an officer, this is quoted. The officer even asked why not purchase the bike and pay the thief/handler of stolen goods to get your bike back. The police told a victim of crime, why do you not just pay the person who stole your bike or who's handling your bike to give your bike back? Unfucking believable. Honestly, it's unbelievable. Now, this guy Duncan says he even told the police that he plans to bid on the bike on eBay in hope so he could win it, so he could then go and confront the person who was selling it. And he told the police that's what he was going to do. And he asked if, when he goes to get the bike, if the police can attend with him, which I think is a fair comment. I mean, if you, I don't know how many of you have had a falling out with a partner and the police have been involved and you've had to go back and the police say, well, if you need to go back to the property, give us a ring and we'll come with you to make sure that nothing happens. I'm sure some of you have had been in that situation before. Well, for this, where the guy says, I'm going to win this bike and I'm going to go and confront the person who stole it, then, but the police have turned around and basically said, and I'll read this as a quote, he said it was unlikely an officer would be available. It was unlikely an officer would be available to go to a property where clearly there's going to be some kind of altercation. So the police, carpet, broom, sweep it under, not interested. And that's exactly, and again quoting, this is exactly what I try to avoid, but Greater Manchester Police have given me no choice but to do exactly that. Greater Manchester Police have admitted that an officer explained an address could be passed on to police if Duncan Smith bid for and won the bike on eBay, so police could attempt to recover it. But I mean, that's all very well, but the police have already said that they're not going to send anybody to the house to, initially. They're not going to go with the guy when he goes to pick the bike up. So if they can't be there for those two situations, then why are they saying, give us the details and we'll go and check it out? They're not going to do that. They're talking shit. However, they did insist that at no stage did the police suggest he should attend the address in person, which they're going to say. But the guy said he was going anyway, so the police should have said, well, okay, this is somebody who's been stolen from, going to meet somebody who's stolen from them. There is going to be an issue. We need somebody to go and be there. But no, not interested. Daisy, do you mind just snoring, please? In the middle of a live stream, if you don't mind. So, but yet they're all happy to come along when somebody's having a TV licensing warrant served on them for them to come and check the television, or debt collectors or bailiffs. They're all very happy to go along then in order to prevent a breach of the peace or a fight breaking out or something like that. But when you've got the victim of a crime going to confront somebody who committed the crime, not fucking bothered. The police said, we apologise for any frustration caused, and say the advice given with the best of intentions, is not advice that should be given by police. Then why was it given? When reports are made to police, we make assessments on how to best respond based on threat, harm, and risk posed to the public. I always thought it was to do with harm, loss, and damage rather than threat, harm, threat, and risk. So I don't know where that's come from, but there you go. Greater Manchester Police went on to say if the victim did bid for the bike and obtain the contact details for the seller, then the address could have been passed on to the police so they could attempt to recover the suspected item. But again, I go back to the fact that if they are saying that they're not going to turn up initially to go and have a look at the bike, I think there was enough information. The guy could prove that it was his bike because of the specific marking from an accident. That should have been enough for the police to say, okay, under PACE, they've got a reasonable suspicion to remove that bike and find out if it is actually the bike. But no, not interested at all. Absolutely ridiculous. And then they go on with the normal dribble that you get from the police. We understand the impact and blah, blah, blah. You know, we work hard, eating donuts, you know, picking on people. It's, you know, they're going, you know, just the usual dribble that they normally put out after a statement that makes them look foolish. They put out a little statement just to say, well, you know, don't forget though that, you know, we work a very dangerous job, and you know, you must respect us for that. So get on your fucking knees and bow down to me because I wear a thin blue line. And if you don't respect my authority, then I'm going to bully you and pick on you till you do. You know what I mean? But there we go. So that is it for today with regards to the PAP reports. So we've got Superintendent Robyn Williams given a boot because she failed to report a child abuse video that was sent to her. Good riddance. Not because you're black, not because you're a woman, don't know what sexuality you are, but whatever, makes no difference. Fact is, you broke the law, you broke your own standards as police, so got no sympathy for you. Tough shit. We've also got, who else did we mention? PC James Taylor, who acted inappropriately towards junior police colleagues. He'll be in his disciplinary hearing tomorrow. PC James Taylor, James Taylor, if you're watching, I'd love you to be watching. I hope you get a sack. Right. Who else have we got? Georgia Carney from Witness in Cheshire. You are one lucky biatch. You are one lucky biatch. Although I have to say, from your pictures, and I'll put links to all of these stories in the description after this live stream, folks. I have to say, from your pictures in the rag, I'd have given you points and taken your license away just because of that stupid duck pout thing that you do in your pictures, because you look ridiculous. What else have we got? The last ones we've got, so we've got Dylan Robson with Judge Amanda Rippon. I hope you're watching this, Judge Amanda Rippon, because you are disgusting. You are an utter waste of space. Giving a convicted pedo who's on a sexual harm prevention order, giving him another chance after you've already given him a chance is ridiculous. You are sick. You do not deserve to be sitting in the position that you sit. Last but not least, Greater Manchester Police. You love making yourself look stupid. You really, really do. And to tell somebody that, you know, or to ask somebody to go and buy their property back from the people that stole from them in the first place is fucking mental. You are a bunch of imbeciles. Madness. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.
Good night, all.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you like the content and you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so. In the description of every video there are some links to ways that you're able to help support the channel so I can continue putting out content. If you're unable to help us in that way, hit that subscribe button up the top there. If you haven't already, become a subscriber. That is support enough. Share the videos, comment, like, it all helps. If you're looking for something else to watch, up top there is my latest video. Down the bottom there is a video that YouTube recommends for you.